Hey, everybody. Did y'all miss us from the holiday break? No? Well, too fucking bad. We're back. So, welcome back. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. Welcome back to Respect the Combat. We are now on episode 227, season 7. Jesus Christ, we've been going for 7 years now. Really, really surprised I haven't gotten canceled with half the stuff I've said. With all that being said, my co-hostess with the mostest, Mr. Don Hayes. How are you doing today?
Technically, we just celebrated 5 years, but coming up on 6 in October. But what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's been a very long road that we've been going. It's been a lot of fun. Genuinely, we thank everybody who's been tuning in and has actually been continuing to stay on with us. It's really been a blast. And of course, once again, for the second week in a row, Mr. Angry Grandpa himself, Irving, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. Currently at work and whatnot, so I'm gonna try to make the best out of it today.
Oh, dude, you're good. You're good. It's understood. We appreciate you still making the time to come on. Now, obviously, this being our first episode, we had to go kind of big. So, honestly, it means a lot having this guy on just because last time I wasn't allowed to talk about this, but now I can. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I could just be frank a little bit, usually this is where I go all wild and I'm like, this guy wrestled here and here and here and here. I'm gonna be a little bit more personal here this time. This guy has genuinely been looking out for me from the beginning since I got hired. If it wasn't for this guy, I really wouldn't even have the job I currently have with the National Wrestling Alliance. I tell him on a regular basis how thankful I am for him. He's probably, in my opinion, I really don't give a fuck if you try to cancel me over it. He's genuinely one of the best human beings I've met in a very long time. He's always got the best interest for everybody at heart. And I can genuinely tell he is just a really good human being. And besides all that, he is also your NWA World's Television Champion. The looks that kill. Bryan Idol. What's up, brother?
There he is. Hey, I don't know how you could get canceled for saying I'm a good guy, but okay, Eric.
I mean, hell, with how the IWC goes nowadays, who fucking knows? They might just be like, dude, breaking news. This man said that Bryan Idol's actually a good person. Oh my God.
I got news for you. There's more than 20 people in the wrestling community. So other than 20 crybabies on Twitter, I don't think anybody really thinks that.
No,
that's true.
But
It's all good, man.
No, how you doing today, brother?
I'm tired, but I'm good. So here I am. I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're running off of zero sleep right now. It looks like
pretty much.
Damn. Well, we appreciate you making time to hop on. Seriously, do with your very busy schedule. I know you're getting ready to head out to Texas this weekend to fight Izzy James, so that should be exciting. Now, to hop right in. Now this was a bit more of a question that Donnaise had for me and Bryan. So, Donnaise, the floor is yours.
All right. So, I obviously had a little bit more of the backlash and just got caught in the crossfire because the night it got unveiled, I sent the photo to Eric, and as he was dealing with the drama of the AEW national title. But I was just curious, and for our listeners, viewers, or whatever, I wanted to get both of you guys' honest perspective of when you heard about the title, the unveiling of the title, and now those three, like that timeline of reactions to it. The belts.
Bryan, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, man. When I heard about the title, I knew because they didn't, when I first heard about it, they didn't show the design, the real one or whatever, but I knew based on the information and things that I was hearing in real time, what the design was going to be. And it was obvious for a bunch of reasons. So yeah, I thought it was cheap and disappointing. And I think like, if you peel back the layer, like, you can claim they can claim ignorance or it was meant out of an homage thing or whatever they're trying to say they were going for. But like, it's like the equivalent of picking, like if you just picked any other Fed, right? Like, so if you say we were NWA and we picked, an indie Fed and we were like, what, that indie Fed's been, together a long time. We're going to we're gonna make that title like, you know, it'd be like, say, WWC, right? They pretty much are the last ever existing territory for the NWA, even though they had kind of a name change. They're the same company, and regardless, so it's like us taking their TV title, and we're like, oh, we're gonna make the Puerto Rican TV title, you know, the WWC Puerto Rico TV title. We're gonna do it out of the lineage of Carlos Colon and, you know what I mean, and Shane the Glamour Boy and all these things. And we're showing clips of WWC, and then when someone says, "Well, wait a minute, WWC still has the TV title," and they're like, "Yeah, but this is a different one," but we're showing you all the clips of those guys. So I mean, you just do the math on it. It's lame, and it was obvious what they were trying to go for, and like, you know, we could sit here and argue all day if they did it out of good intentions or bad intentions or whatever. But it's like something, so if you're in wrestling and you run a company, like, you just wouldn't do it. It's like especially if you're like, you know, perceived to be a bigger company, it's like saying like, okay, we just want to make what you have irrelevant. And I mean, I don't know how anybody could get behind that and think that that's okay. And I mean, I guess when you get into the fans part of it, they don't know any better or care, and they're loyal to the brands they're loyal to. You know what I mean? There's people that will, uh, you know, run people over with their car if they say Coke is better than Pepsi or vice versa. So I mean, brand loyalty is a human condition, and I mean, I get it, but it doesn't make me wrong for pointing out the obvious, and it doesn't make someone else right because they like something better. I mean, I think the facts of what it is and what happened speak for themselves as far as I don't know if you want to call it the right or wrong, or just is it a shitty thing to do or not, you know?
100%. I definitely agree a lot with what Brian just said. So obviously, Don A's, you know how I felt when I initially heard, and when I initially heard it, I was like, okay, cool. But then when I read the press release and I saw that they were claiming for it to have lineage connected to the NWA national title, that's where I was like, okay, wait a minute, hold up. I'm like, that I just know is false. And that's when, I initially sent over the press release. I'm like, hey guys, did you know anything about this? And that's when it became a whole thing. And look, I understand everyone's got their opinion. Everyone has their say. And like Brian said, their brand loyalty. However, what I've been learning over the last few months is that there's a difference between actually understanding how the business works and then being a fan. And when you have no form of partnership with a company currently, like right now, where AEW does not have a current partnership with NWA
At all,
you cannot just throw out there like, oh yeah, this title we're making, it's connected to the NWA. How? We don't know, but it's connected. But then here's my other shtick is like, they've booked it terribly. And it almost feels like now that they kind of just made the title to put a title on Ricochet. Like, I'm not trying to diss Ricochet by saying that, but Donnie's correct me if I'm wrong. Has that title been defended on AEW TV since he won it at Full Gear?
Nope. Thank you, Trico. And I was going to even say it.
Which, by the way, what's up, Trico?
I was going to add another layer. The only one of the three titles that are in question, the AEW National title, the AEW Continental title / Unified title, and the
I don't even know what's
AEW
going
National
on
title that have been defended.
I don't even. I think they just got rid of the Unified title now. Like, that's the other thing. It's like,
that's
okay,
my point.
Yeah, it's
that
like,
okay,
so, and that's kind of also where I was going to go into, because it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. So you brought in the national title to take over the regime of the international title because of the fact that was unified with the Continental title. Now you separated the international and Continental title, and now the international title is currently held by Okada. So now the international and the national title are basically the same title.
And yet the one that's been defended the most since Full Gear is the Continental title. Because Mox just put it in a random eliminator match, like what, this week?
All right. Well, I mean, like you said, you can get into the booking of all that and whatever, but like, let's go back to the whole concept. So Eric pointed out they made a press release, and then funny enough, after I would probably take credit for it and say after I made all the noise about it, what did they do? They changed the press release. They took all the NWA stuff out of it, which I don't know I don't know how anybody else would see that, but that would show me right there as an ultimate admission of guilt. And if you're going back and changing, so if you had this whole thing that you planned and you think it was so on the up and up, and then someone like me calls it out, and then you go, oh my god, let's take all the NWA stuff out of it. And then furthermore, Tony Khan did what I would call the ultimate PR move on his end, which he's really good at doing. He did call Billy, and that was like the first time in 4 years. And he inferred as if Billy gave him a blessing or a permission. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the phone call as I know them. I'm just going to say that didn't happen. He didn't give him any kind of blessing or okay to do it. But whatever. I mean, it was already done. So it's like, what was he going to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to tell him? I'm not okay with it. Okay, cool. Well, we still have the title, so F you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was dumb. It was already done. And again, we can get into reasons why they did it, but I mean, I can't say for sure what the logic is. I gave my opinion on what it is, and I also think it's funny. I got a lot of heat for saying what I think the legacy of the product was, and I think the funniest part about it to me is I don't watch it every week. I don't watch it at all, in fact. And so the things that I pointed out are the moments in time of that company that I've caught. You know what I mean? And like somebody pointed out to me, they're like, well, Nick Gage wrestled for the company one time. And I'm like, yeah, but I remember it. I actually watched that. And I remember thinking, what am I watching? And then, funny enough, the whole pizza cutter thing happens and it cuts to a commercial and there's a pizza thing. So yeah, that's a standout moment in the company history. Like, if you can't tell me when I describe it as quickly as that if you've ever watched AEW, you don't know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows that moment that's a fan of that thing. And so I don't think I'm crazy in the descriptors I use. Maybe not chronologically accurate or to the moment savvy to the product, but I don't think it negates what I said either. And I think the funniest part about it was, it really hit home with some people, and I think that's funny. Like, I'm like, okay, like, first of all, what do you care about what my opinion is? That's just my opinion. Secondly, what would you want me to say? Something pleasant? Like, let's go back to the bottom line of what I think. I think it was thievery in the first place, and I'll never not think that. So I'm saying, like, you're asking me to compliment somebody who's committing thievery. So I just don't get the logic of people. You know what I'm saying? It's like when someone does something wrong to you, it's probably okay to curse them out. It's probably okay to tell them they suck. It's probably okay to tell them why they're wrong. I can't imagine when someone blatantly disrespects you that you're like, show me the human being. Seriously, are we talking Gandhi that's going to sit there and be like, well, everything you guys do is so great. You're a great guy. I'm just totally shocked, and it's okay because you're great. Like, it's just stupid. It's like, yeah, so what? I made fun of it and said, like, this is what you're good at. Stick to that. Don't try to claim the excellence of the past. And that's the thing, dude. I think we as the NWA at times, have to uphold that legacy. And there's things that any company does, and I think it would go for any of the, let's say like WWE's been a very long running company. I would say there's moments in their history that don't necessarily match up to the highest moments that were previously had. So I think everybody struggles with that. You know what I mean? So all that said, my whole point is, what did I say that was inaccurate? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
No, you're completely 100% right. And
it is what it is.
Yeah, it really at this point, it is what it is. I mean, what I find even funnier is that whole press release kind of ended up making Mondo more relevant. Like, that was the funniest part of the whole thing.
Here's the real reality. Anytime that title's mentioned, they're talking about our title at the same time. So
Yeah.
I hope it was worth the vig for AEW.
Oh yeah.
And again, there's a lot of wrestlers there that I think are fantastic, and I don't have anything against particularly anybody there. So I don't really. It's like whatever, man, and it gets into. I think it's funny. I think it's funny again, like with Twitter. Like I genuinely believe if you were like, okay, it seems like I was getting this massive heat and whatever, and it's like, bro, it was probably 20 people, and probably less than that because probably of those 20 people, there's umpteen fake profiles. It's
Oh
the
yeah.
same burners, and other than a couple of wrestlers that aren't in AEW, which is even funnier. Which then you have to go into what people's motives are. Why are there non AEW wrestlers like trying to take stabs at me? Like what? That goes into my whole point. Like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get a contract from Tony Khan. I'm saying that's the level of desperation you're at in your own career that you're like, you know what? Let me go after this guy because I don't like his opinion. I'll defend a brand that I don't get paid by. Like, it's so stupid. It's like, I said it on the Good Brothers podcast. Like, there's levels to this thing. You can mock any wrestling company you want, or you can say this sucks or this is good, or like at the bottom line is I would love to know the actual statistics of what wrestlers are signed to actual contracts, and I would love to know the percentage of that, and I would love to know the percentage of those that aren't signed to actual contracts that talk bad about companies that give out actual contracts. You know what I mean?
Oh
It
yeah.
really shows the reality of who's who, and I think there's levels to it, and that's what I said on the Good Brothers podcast. I said, you have to be on a certain level to even open your mouth and gain credibility. Now that doesn't mean you can't gain credibility on Twitter with people that don't like me, or like I said, 20 fans or 10 fans with 50 burner accounts. Like, cool, like you're the king of, you won your Twitter world today, but does it really matter? And did you really prove a point? And are you really, you know, which led to my next fun tweets of like, I asked those dudes, did they get signed? You know what the answer was? They didn't get signed.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's my point.
Oh, I get it 100%. Now, I guess to leeway away from this and more so into NWA.
Mhm.
Now, I not even just personally saying this, but my podcast partners as well have been watching Power, and they're talking about how the product is progressing week by week. So I'd say right now, NWA is on a steamroll path that we're just going to continue getting better and better and better. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of 2026 or beginning of 2027, we're right back up there where we were. And I say that confidently because I know we have a strong roster. We genuinely do. I mean, if you haven't watched, go watch Power on Roku. You're seriously missing out. It's the only fucking program online right now that you can watch for free. Not doing a diss at WWE, but I'm sorry, it's like $100 a month to watch all their programming right now. Like, that's expensive. I got bills to
Well,
pay.
totally free on Roku. You don't even have to really make an account if you don't want to. So it's
You
like
don't.
it's
You
it's
literally just have
totally
to download it. That's it.
yeah. Which I want to chime in there. Like, it gets crazy. Like, I laugh at people when they're like, someone will say about me, TV champion, and they don't even have TV. It's like, bro, we're in 2026. Roku is TV. There's on the platform of Roku on a daily basis is like something like 82 million viewers. It's like, I'm not saying they're all watching NWA, but I'm saying that's who's on the platform. So there are millions and millions of viewers to access there. So we are not like buried on some back channel or like, some half cooked Roku thing. We're like on their main sports channel.
Yes.
We share programming with like the Rich Eisen show, and I've seen like, Major League Baseball games and other, like pretty big deal things happen on that channel. So it's like, you know, it's just crazy to me when someone tries to downplay that. And so as far as you said with the product, Eric, like, look, our roster, there's probably 15 or 20 that could stand up in any fed as the main players, and I don't think anybody would feel a difference. And like I said, I think that goes like for each Fed. I think they have their people that could they could be anywhere. They're all good. You're just a certain level of pro, which is great. So I think the program is evolving, and I think they're I don't control how all that happens, but I'm saying like as a collective, I think we're doing what we can to put on the best of what we got, and we're kind of it's like you said, we're on an uptrend. We're evolving for the better, we're growing for the better, and just time will tell how big it gets or doesn't get, whatever. But I think the bottom line is it's if you like wrestling, it's worth checking out. It's not like super low budget, and it's not super big investment time wise. So there's no reason for someone to not to watch it and say, hey, let's give it a look and see what's going on. And it's not insultingly bad where the wrestling is like substandard in ring. So I just somebody might not like the storylines, or they might not like uh the presentation or whatever. That's a whole that's things people can criticize and argue, and that's what fans should do, and they should have opinions and whatever. But from our end, on the back end, if you're like, okay, are you trying to sell people garbage, or are you trying to sell people a legitimate product? I think we're selling a legitimate product, and I think the standard is very good when it comes to the in-ring, and it's getting a lot better when it comes to the production and all this. So I think it's at a very acceptable level for today's day and age. And I think it's kind of fun because I think it's a little bit more, I don't know how to say it. Like I feel like it's just straightforward and a
Mhm.
little bit I don't know, more classic, right? Like it's just not the exact thing that everybody else is doing right now.
Oh yeah,
And so it's kind of a throwback almost, which is really cool, I think, because it's variety.
I completely agree. And I think one of the other things that really makes the NWA stand out from other promotions right now is the territory system, because that was something that used to be a thing back in, the 70s and 80s before, well, Vince McMahon did what he did.
Right.
And I like that because it's almost like a throwback to the good old, well, I don't want to say the good old days, but it's a
You're
throwback
right.
to, it was a throwback to all of that. And I mean, then because with then the territories, then you got all the talent from all of those promotions too.
Right, coming in, and that's you see a lot of those guys pop up on TV, and they're putting other guys over, and uh, here's what I could say about that too. The territory master plan is still underway. I think it got a little backburnered for the speed that we came up with, the speed that we came up on the Roku deal with, and as far as getting all our ducks in a row with that, we had to shift some focus and shift some things. And I would expect there to be more territories, and I would expect there to be more integration with the territories, and I would expect there to be more integration with the territories and NWA in the programming. So it's pretty exciting in that regard if you're a true wrestling fan, because you're going to get to see more people that you might not know, and then you might like them, or you might just like watching them getting beat up. I don't think there's anything wrong with having jobber type people on programming, getting beat up by bigger, better wrestlers. I think it's good. I think it's good for wrestling. And it's not like all the other companies haven't done it. Like people do it. They bring in talent from the indies or whatever, and then they go against their talent, and guess who wins? So I don't think we're doing anything crazy, but I think the territories is really cool because it's pretty much all our pipeline, and that's where
Mhm.
we're drawing from, which is good because you don't just have a journeyman coming in hoping to land a spot. You have people that are already in the system that we're already familiar with, and we know who they are when they get there, and then they're trying to crack through the main roster and get in there. And I think it just creates a higher level of competition and a more well-rounded product in the vein of what we're doing. So I like that we've created, I give Billy a lot of credit, man. He's made it its own culture in the face of people saying that that's impossible or it's not going to work or whatever. And again, I don't think we've peaked on the territory system. In fact, I think it's just started to get rolling because we were moving really fast with it. Roku came, and it's like, well, we got to really focus on this right now. and now we're starting to level out there. And we're like, okay, we're steering the ship here. So
Mhm.
now let's put our focus back on the territory and start tightening that whole thing and maybe expanding it. And I think that's what we're going for. And
Oh yeah.
you may see territories come and go, and that's the name of the game too. Like, there's a million and one reasons why that can happen, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. So, um, it's an ever going process, and it's evolving, and it's we're making changes, we're making things, but again, the essential concept of the pipeline territory, the territory, it's a pipeline within our company, that it's our own ecosystem. And that's, again, building that culture and creating that is not only ambitious but awesome to actually have accomplished at some level. So really,
Completely
really
agree.
proud of that whole thing.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. And I personally like the territory system just because besides working in it, you guys know I'm a wrestling fan, obviously. And so I mean that's just more content I get to watch. And speaking of content, you, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, have a match tomorrow against Izzy,
Right.
where you might be coming home with 2 belts.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And like, within our territories, we have some pretty advanced companies like TSW, aka NWA Texas, is they're running a high level production in their own right, and they're running at a building where we do the tapings, which is the OC in Forney, Texas, which is an amazing building. So all the nuts and bolts of everything are there, like, and so you're going to get a matchup that you necessarily wouldn't get. Like, well, I've never wrestled Izzy James before, and I'm saying I don't think it would be likely that it would happen on the actual NWA programming, because there's only a finite number of times I can be on there. And
Right.
so it's like, obviously there's bigger, better stuff going on, but nonetheless, this is pretty cool because this is a championship that's the championship of the territory, and that's been getting defended all over Texas and other places. So now I get to have a shot at that. He gets a shot at the TV title. Somebody's going home with titles.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. So I'm saying that's, who knows, man. Izzy James could show up as the TV champion, and somebody else might not like that, but they might be like, wow, that belt jumps around, and look at this is happening, and the possibility for that at least is really cool. So I mean, my whole thing is just, you could not like NWA or what we're doing, but I think somebody to pretend that it's not going pretty well and that we aren't self-sustaining in a very cool way, they would just be in denial. So
Oh yeah.
uh that was probably the most entertaining thing, of like, when people were outwardly shitting on it to get at me, is the actual denial of what has already transpired with the company and what is already happening. And the talking points are to shit talk past wrestlers or shit talk me. And it's like, yeah, you can, I don't think you can gain much ground with that. It's like, all right, so you know what I mean? Like, what is that? The train's still rolling. I never, and like I said, then they'll try to downplay Roku. Like, how do you win an argument when you have to, like, shit on you're like, yeah, but it's just, oh, but that's garbage. Yeah, but they're doing this. Yeah, but that's garbage. It's like, all right, bro, like, you can't win like that. It's like,
No.
the facts outpace the your shitty logic. So that's what it is. So real proud of that. And I give that all credit, man. That's the boss, Billy Corgan, dude, who has had a million and one reasons to either A, not do this, or B, listen to everybody else and conform and do it the way everybody says he should do it. And he doesn't, man. He's created his own culture, and he doesn't take any bullshit. And we do it our way, and it's his way. And it's fantastic to be. That's why I love the NWA. And it's like, I'm not just saying it. Like, first of all, I've been around a long time, and I'm saying, like, I can tell you this: it's extremely rewarding when someone believes in you, the person, and then believes in you, the product, and that all comes together. And then on top of that, you believe in them. So it's like, I said it, in those tweets, and I wasn't just saying it to be cool. I don't think of things like, oh, I can't say this about another company, or I can't do this because I'm burning bridges. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, there are no bridges to me. Like, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to wrestle. And I'm telling you, I don't care who comes knocking. It's like it wouldn't change my current status. I'm happy here. I want to be here. I choose to be here. I believe in what we're doing. And you know, it doesn't mean, and when I say that, like, I'm not delusional either. Like, I'm not like, oh, well, we're going to overtake, you know, WWE, the biggest wrestling company in the world. I don't think that. But I think we've created a culture of something, and we like WWE, and they work with us. And I'm saying, but I think we've created a culture of something that's like, you know, a link to the past, but in a modern day medium, and we're doing it our way. And like I said, so because of that mission statement and that mindset, I'm all in on the product, man. Like I don't care about going anywhere else, and I'm extremely loyal to the NWA. I think it's awesome. Like, I totally rep it for what it is. And the funniest part about that is probably like when if you went back and you asked me, like, in wrestling history, like how much of the NWA is my favorite or I love or whatever, not a whole lot of it. You know what I'm saying? I was not a big NWA watcher, and I wasn't even a big watcher before I got in it in the modern era. So,
Right.
I mean, I just have all these thoughts and opinions based on my time in there and how it went for me and how I feel, and I, like I said, I'm thrilled about it all. And so, and I think I just love you know, we do it our way and we don't take any bullshit. And that's, again, that's the boss man driving the train. He just doesn't care. And I love that.
Oh, 100%. And one territory in particular that I've also noticed that their content quality has been going up heavily is New Mexico. And I gotta give credit to them also, because I know that they've had a big part in it. Pollo has been doing amazing work on his end with not just NWA, but with helping with trying to get the territories more accentuated. And can I just like I'm not trying to do this as a dig to anybody. Please don't fire me for saying this, but I genuinely want to start a petition to have Pollo on commentary. They are funny. Like they sent me a video the other day, and it was freaking. It was the one where it's like, oh well, when you're driving your lowrider with your left hand, wait, what does that mean? And then it's like, because your right hand is for your passenger. You know,
Hey, yo.
like little stuff like that is hilarious.
And also even more funny when it's coming from a 6 foot something drag queen.
Right?
You know, that's not my call or my department or whatever.
I know.
So I can't have any say in that. But yeah, I wouldn't complain about it. And I think Pollo does very well on the commentary for NWA New Mexico. And again, so that's you know, like if we're going behind the scenes here, I think that's why the territories are cool. NWA New Mexico, when you go to watch that, if you're watching it expecting the best wrestling in the world, or like the portrayal of that, like if you're watching it thinking the lights go on there and they're pretending they're the biggest company in the world and it's the cookie cutter of everything else that you think is supposed to be great, it's like, bro, you're missing the point. NWA New Mexico is like legitimately the wild, wild west. Like, their main baby face is a bum. He's an actual hobo. And I'm saying it's not a gimmick in the fact that his rapport with the crowd is unlike anything I've ever seen. Imagine the first time I ever went to that company and I'm standing in the ring and they're like, yeah, you're wrestling Hobo Hank. And I'm saying, this is me, a guy who's been all over the place. I've seen it all. And I've been in the ring with some of the biggest names in the world. I mean, we could sit here and run down my resume. It's legit. It's huge. And, if we were dropping a name, I don't know, the Hardy Boys, I don't know, Goldust, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Been in the ring with all these people. I'm standing there in this New Mexico Fed in this club that's holding, I don't know, 400 people. And I watch this guy come out dressed like a bum. And the crowd is going apeshit to the level of the song Mr. Bojangles is playing. And he gets through the entire song on his entrance, drinks, I don't know, 2 beers Stone Cold style. And I mean, the crowd is so electric that my ears hurt. And I feel like I'm in front of 10,000 people. And I mean, it was like one of those things where it clicked in my head right there. It was like, okay, This is like something out of a movie because it doesn't seem real. You would be like, why in the vein of what people think is cool in wrestling would this guy be getting this kind of reaction, and how did they do it? And again, it's because they're their own little ecosystem in their own little world. So I'm saying bringing something like that in there where a snob, smart mark wrestling fan would be like, this is shit, this is crazy, what am I looking at? Like, but that's the whole point, is it's quirky, it's off the wall, and there are plenty of good wrestlers there. I'm not saying everybody's some fucking wacko, but I'm saying the point is, you wouldn't think the top babyface would be Hobo Hank, but he is, and that speaks to what is going on there that is outside the box, and it's really cool, man. And it's like, so bringing that aboard what we're doing, and it's just another angle, like looking at it from another angle of wrestling, which is super cool. And
Oh yeah.
I think, like I said, that's what I'm saying. When people take out, and I don't use this word, but I'm saying, like, I, for the sake of being able to explain it, tribalism, right? Like, if you take out the tribalism and you take out the brand loyalty, and if you were just watching this from the side, you're like, okay, why would I watch this? And it's like, because it's all this different stuff. It's not the same as everybody else. So yeah, you might as well take a look at it and see, like, you might like one or two things, and you might be like, yeah, it's worth checking out because I like those two things. I don't see it anywhere else. So I love that we have that and the ability to showcase that. And I think that's what makes it so cool. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think probably the one thing doing all this I did not expect to end up being used as is an extra. I figured that I would probably just stay in the background, just staying behind a camera. And then next thing you know, I'm taking Richard Holliday's signature move. And Don Ace is dying laughing. Don Ace still gives me shit for it because he's like, ha ha. Just because he was teasing me the whole time, like, don't take Richard Holliday's signature move. Don't get stuck doing that. So as soon as he asked me, I'm just like, God damn it.
That's what
And
I'm saying.
Just
Like, you wear a cup at Exodus.
I'm going to have to now.
But like, that's the thing, right? Like, you don't see Richard Holiday on NWA programming, but you see him on the Exodus one. So that's cool. That's another angle, another guy to look at. And so we're basically highlighting people that aren't in NWA and people that are on, perceivably indie wrestling and whatever. So we're opening a door for people to be able to find it and see it. And again, who else is doing that? You know what I mean? None of the other top companies are outright opening the door for people and basically annexing these things to have a pathway for people to not only see it but to connect it all the way directly up to the product, which again is a little risque, but that's the fun of it. That's the punk rock level that NWA is, kind of, which is cool,
Right.
man. We're and that's the old school way. It's like, that's what I'm saying, is it's like, if the internet existed in the 70s and the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, people would have been able to trace these paths very quickly. But instead, it was like a mysterious door opening when it ended up on broadcast TV, because you're like, who the hell are these people and where are they from? And they were their own already developed things. So it's like, it's just, that's what we're doing, is we're just having fun with it and trying to give people different looks from different angles and basically entertain. That's the point, right? Like, if it's it's supposed to entertain somebody.
Oh yeah.
And there's people that make podcasts about us and this and that, and those get a lot of views, and again, like, it doesn't, I joke because it's not like I haven't heard about it. Like, people tell me, like, that one podcast, like, they talk crazy shit about me or whatever, and it's like, it's funny. It's like, who cares, dude? Like, you think I care about, like, some dude who's, like, not affiliated with anything, like, making jokes or whatever?
I was actually going to say, that just made me think about it, you saying that. I found it ironic that, and I'm not necessarily, I'd say I'm not trying to put this guy on blast, but I don't like him. So I found it ironic that JD from NY made a video talking shit about the NWA, like literally like a 20-30 minute video. And then not even 2-3 days later, hits up this man and is like, hey, bro, what's up? So anything NWA needs, I'll help out. Any information that needs to get pushed out, I'll help out. It's like, you two-faced little bitch. Like,
okay, well, I'm just saying this, but you look at it like this. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But, that's the gig for him, right? Like, he's a mouthpiece That's how he makes his content and he makes his whatever. So I don't fault anybody for that. And it's like ending up on on a famous level would be like, you know, ending up on South Park. You know what I mean? Or ending up on Family Guy. Like
Well, if
when
I end up on South Park, that's when I know I made it.
but what I'm saying is like, the Billy Corgan Disneyland face has ended up on Family Guy in references. And it's like, are they making fun of him? Yes. It's like, but does it really matter? No. Is it entertaining? Yes. And it's like, does it change Billy's life at all for the negative? No, because
No.
he's who he is. So I'm saying when you understand it and you equate it at that level, it might seem pesky, it might seem annoying, and you might be like, God damn it, like why is this guy saying this? But like at the same time, I think you should be happy that anybody's talking about it. If anybody's talking about it, that means people are watching it. If people are watching it, that means you're not doing it for nothing. So it's
True.
like, so that's the name of the game. Like I've had people talk shit about me in wrestling forever. There was a website back in the day, man. This guy printed, it was like a daily tabloid basically. It was called, and I'll reference it. It's called Declaration of Independence, and it was very big in the New York indie scene, at least amongst all the wrestlers and people that thought they were wrestlers. And I mean, this dude used to print stuff about me on a daily basis, and it was such misinformation and like just complete fiction. And but at the same time, I look back on it and I was like, man, this guy made me relevant because he was just talking about me every day. And it was like good or bad. And like he was trying to damage me at times, but it didn't really damage me because it's not true. So like when somebody says things that aren't true about you, ultimately it gets proven, and then it doesn't really do damage to you. And all it really did was just keep you in people's minds and mouths for months and months. So like I said, as far as JD, I don't think he's a bad guy, and I don't think what he's doing is wrong. I think he's just doing his gig the way he does it. And I think he's just, at the end of the day, he loves wrestling. He's a fan of wrestling. And I think the passion of criticism comes from, that's him saying what he wants to see or what he feels it should be, which is fine. He's entitled to his opinion and whatever. But I think it's kind that at the same time, if he thinks he could help or he was willing to help, anybody. I mean, it doesn't mean their help is monumental. It just means like, cool, they're there and they're a medium of something, right? Like have some kind of fan base. So if they're willing to even partake, like that's cool. So good for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely get it.
But at the same time, you don't have to like him, and you can talk all the shit you want about him. You're on a podcast. And, if that's what gets you views, he should understand, and he should be like, all right, well, now they're he can go back and he can choose to argue with you guys via his podcast. I mean, that's all programming decisions you guys can make. That's the thing, man. I think when people really realize what it is, it's like whatever. And everyone's always going to choose sides. And like I said, somebody could be watching this entire thing, throwing shit at their screen because I'm on it, and that's fine. I good for you, man. If it entertains you, like I don't give a shit.
You're still giving me views, so
there you go. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, no, I completely 100% get where you're coming from. Now, I'll do two. I got two more just because I know we're running a bit high here, and I know you got to go. So one other question I have that I wanted to bring up. Now, one thing a lot of people they know about your school, Fight the World Wrestling Academy. Now, a lot of people don't really realize though just how many people you have actually pushed out of that school that are now higher up.
A shitload, it's, and like here's the thing, man. I can sit here and I can claim names and we can argue, oh, they trained with me, then they trained somewhere else, or they're claiming something else. At the end of the day, I don't know where you're going with this, other than trying to give it credibility. But I'm saying, like, here's the thing, dude. The real fact is, yes, we've trained several people that have gone on to be, WWE champions, AEW champions, TNA champions, pretty much every Fed. At one point, we had somebody in every Fed at once. And again, it's not just me training people. That's the other thing I like when people try to shit talk me. They try to shit talk the school, and it's like, so you're going to shit talk the credentials of Natalia Markova. You're going to shit talk the credentials of Mike Mondo, which, if you know anything about wrestling, this dude's run so deep all the way back to Ohio Valley and his WWE days, and is regarded and always has been regarded as like a fantastic mind in wrestling and descendant of even legendary minds of wrestling. So it's like, I'm extremely proud of the wrestling schools that I've run, and I'm extremely proud of the one that's currently going, where it's me, Mondo, and Markova, doing the training. And I think it's funny, like I said, when people try to come at it for me, it's like, to be honest with you, man, at this point, I'm probably the one that shows up the least there. It's mainly Markova and Mondo, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's great. I mean, the school's great. I've churned out thousands of wrestlers, and the ones that even hundreds that maybe didn't go on to TV but are all over the indies still, and actually working constantly on the indies. So yeah,
Oh
man,
yeah.
I'm very proud of the product that I've created at the Fight the World Wrestling Academies. And people forget I also ran the WWN school, which was Evolve and eventually WWE, and I was the one who had the most success running that, and I started it. So we've definitely trained, like I said, collectively between those two schools, which are the only two schools I've ever run. We've trained a lot of people.
Oh yeah, 100%. So the final question I have, and I actually just thought about this because typically the final question is usually like, "Oh, well, you're traveling doing this. What's your food order?" Well, you live in Florida, so I know Floridians have a very specific thing. What's your pub sub order?
Actually, I don't eat those. So
Wait, really?
tell you. Yeah, man. Couldn't
Damn.
tell you. Sorry, man. I don't. Not huge on the pub sub, and I don't eat really sandwiches in general.
Okay.
And so yeah, not my go-to thing, man. If I was gonna eat something with bread in it, it would be a hamburger.
Yeah, your McDoubles.
There you go, man. So
I was gonna say, so when
definitely
you're
a
not,
McDouble guy.
yeah, I was gonna say, so when you're not getting your McDouble combos, what's your typical go-to?
You're saying as far as another burger, or are you saying just in general food?
Like in general food.
I don't know, man. I love barbecue and I love tacos. Like if you were like, that's like we're going fast, like I would take that.
Okay.
Tough to beat some. There's the problem. The sad part is for all the barbecue that exists in Florida. Honestly, there's only one in my immediate area that I think is any good, and they're sporadically open. Like I went there the other day. I called them ahead. I was watching the football games last weekend, and I called ahead and I said, "What time you guys closed?" And they said 8 o'clock. So you know what I said to myself? I bet you they're going to close early. Let me get there about 7:15. I got there at 7:15. They told me we're closed. I turned around and walked out the door with a sad face. And then the guy was outside like cleaning up, and he was like, "Wait, what did they tell you? We're closed in there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Really?" They told me 8 o'clock. And he was like, "We're not closed. What do you want?" Went back in there and got me a full rack of ribs. And I was very grateful. And like, I don't think he understands that he's the only game in town that I think is any good. So I was relieved at that. So hard enough to get it, and I got lucky last week watching the playoffs. So
hell yeah.
So shout out to them. That's I'll give you the name. We'll just drop the business plug. It's 4K Barbecue out in Clearwater, Florida.
I'll definitely have to check that out next time I'm down there.
If it's ever open, good luck. But it's a great spot.
All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna let you hop off here because I know you want to go get some rest. Yeah.
Right,
but thank you for hopping on. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys, really, man.
Of course. And anytime you want to hop back on, let me know.
I got you. All right. Thank you, guys.
No problem. I'll talk to you later, brother. Later. All right, later. All right, so let's hop into these mainstream highlights now, seeing that we pretty much took his interview first because, like we said, we wanted to let him rest. I'm just gonna dart through these, Donays. Is that okay?
That is fine. If I gotta interject at anything, it'll probably be after mainstream.
All right, so to start off, all is right in the world. You motherfucker! You wanted to start right off in the mainstreams and fucking piss me off, motherfucker! All is not right in the goddamn world.
I was aiming to piss off Monkey.
All is not right in the goddamn world right now. That was bullshit. That was bombfoolery on Monday. That was lazy ass booking. No.
Okay.
I am not going to say that she is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. No.
So you are going to lie. You are going to lie and say that Maxine Dupree deserved the Intercontinental title over the greatest women's professional wrestler, over the horsewoman, Becky Lynch. And hell, you notice how
oh my God,
Carwin involved. and Becky won the title back because they knew better. And I was going to say this with Bryan. Outside of maybe Pierce, Billy is the only authority / head of creative that needs to be on camera because of the story. Pierce needed to bring his bald ass on camera and make things right, and he didn't.
Now! Now!
Becky had to do it on her own, and she did it.
No, it's bullshit.
No,
Maxine?
it is the
No,
right
it's
thing.
bullshit. It is bullshit.
The right thing.
No, it
Now
is not the right thing. It is bullshit. The only reason why you're kissing ass right now is because you don't want Becky Lynch to make a fucking tweet about you.
No.
Yes.
Becky is a saint.
Yes, that's the exact
Becky
reason.
Is a saint. Becky is a
You
saint.
See?
Becky is a saint.
Kiss
Trust
ass.
me. I am not a kiss ass. You are a
Trico,
dumbass.
help me out here.
You are a
What?
dumbass if you think Maxine was more focused on her honeymoon than retaining her title in her first defense.
Now, that was her second defense, actually. Thank you very much.
Of value. Of value. We all know nobody's better than Becky or on that level.
Man, this motherfucker just wants to get. This motherfucker just wants to get tweeted. He just wants to get some relevance. He just wants to get some fucking relevance. Well, I'm about to kill it all right now. That was a bullshit decision.
No, it wasn't, and you are a freaking liar.
That's a bullshit decision.
That was,
Maxine Dupree should still be the Intercontinental Champion.
and that title would be irrelevant as usual. This is why.
I'm gonna play it again.
You don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
Oh, that means you? That means you? Okay. Moving on.
No.
Moving
fuck
on,
you.
after she comes back from her honeymoon.
Teacher, I raise my hand, teacher.
Well, okay, what's your opinion, Trico?
Well, for one thing, we all know that Maxine was not gonna get a long title reign. Let's all agree on that. We all know that's gonna happen. I wish it was somebody else than Becky, but hey, it is what it is. But there is a silver lining to this.
Vegas.
There's one person that can take that title up with Becky.
Vegas.
Can you play that song?
No, I don't think he has it. But
Well,
we all know the story is Becky AJ at Mania for the
Yep.
title.
yep.
But to reel it back to the mainstream, because yes, we are there. Maxine, Anthony Luke, aka Cam Hendricks, congratulations on the wedding. And I saw some of the photos and the reels Maxine was dropping. Those are awesome. And all of us here just wish you the best in your marriage. See, I can't say nice things about her. But now we get into the mainstream of what happened over the last 3 weeks while we were gone, with the Usos becoming 9-time World Tag Team Champions, and Austin Theory becoming a skinhead and joining the Vision in his return.
The question is how long that tag team fight is gonna last, because we all know Baby Uso is expected to be due by WrestleMania season.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised they took it, because you could have easily had Jimmy come back and that build into something after WrestleMania, and Jay like go into this mega like crash out role. But oh well, we'll see when the Band-Aid gets ripped off there. And obviously Penta returned from his injury, his shoulder injury, and is back helping Ray against the Vision. And then per Alvarez, Eric, I'm sorry I'm stealing your job a little bit. Per Alvarez, Piper's neck may force her into an early retirement.
That's just sad.
Yeah, because she was starting to gain a lot of just traction within the Hervis. And I really could have seen Piper and Alba going after the tag titles with how
Same.
red hot the division is.
Same. I could have saw them doing the same thing.
Yep, and then the War Dogs contracts are reportedly up, which thanks Keebler. Or shall we think. And then Carmelo Hayes and Julia both won the U.S. titles over our holiday break, but will they actually become relevant in story? Julia's, to me, I don't know if y'all picked it up, but Kiana James eyeballed the women's U.S. title as the pyro was going off. Are they really about to start setting up that portrayal of like to get Julia over?
I wouldn't hold my breath, but as far as for Carmelo Hayes and with Trick Williams being on SmackDown, I have one day to say to that: Carmelo, Trick, WrestleMania.
That's your U.S. title match?
Yep.
When does Trick get over Sammy?
I think they're gonna have a little feud on SmackDown. See, like, well, who's better, and try to make Trick come over and stuff. I think that's the only way. Maybe they can have a little segment in the Royal Rumble, but we'll see how that goes.
And speaking of Trick, he wasn't the only main roster call-up from NXT. Javon, Jordan Grace, and now apparently Obafemi were officially called up to the main roster.
Oh my God, the disrespect for Javon Evans. You announced him as a Raw member, but during a commercial.
It was during an ad break on Netflix, so everybody missed it, and you had to put it and play it in front of the live crowd and then post it on social media for the numbers. What? You couldn't do a backstage segment on air? And then speaking of contracts, after the controversy with Nixon Newell and Amanda Alizé, Hyan and Maya World are officially All Elite and have signed. But they were not the only ones, as Jake Something, the former Jake Something, Jake Doyle, and Andrade also became All Elite in their returns.
You know what? Let me rant on this. Anytime you get a new superstar on AEW, you know what that means. They have to join the Don Callis family. Same day in WWE, where you go to the main roster, and if you on the same break as
Twice
the Miz,
over. Oh my gosh. I so hate you. Thank God
No,
Trick
it's
is
the
a heel
truth.
right now.
It's-
Thank God
it's
Trick
the
is a heel right now.
It's the truth.
Like I said, thank God Trick is a heel right now. But then again, even I think like a feud with Sammy will be higher profile for Trick, but I get the sentiment. It's always Trick or Sammy or Miz for new roster call-ups somehow, which is I don't know how I feel about it for them. But also, speaking of returns, Matt Cardona returned and officially signed with the WWE, as well as Randy Orton returned to the company on last week's SmackDown. And then, unfortunately, the injury bug continued for WWE on the holiday tour as both Michin and Dom suffered shoulder injuries. No confirmation of how long either are going to be out and the status of the Intercontinental title, but it is what it is.
Yes.
And then BFAB is under concussion protocol.
And then this one I'm going to say because I'm very excited about it. WWE is officially always ready.
I just said that, though.
Fuck you. Matt Cardona's back. I wanted to say it.
All right.
And then also officially, Randy Orton did return last week on
said that too.
It did. Trick Williams, Javon Evans. Did you say all that?
Yes.
God damn it. Where are you?
BDE.
Okay, BDE has officially signed to TNA, and anyone that's trying to compare this to Logan Paul signing to WWE, it is completely two different scenarios. At least BDE actually trained to wrestle before he came in, and he doesn't shit on the wrestling business as a whole.
He did an interview with Muscle Man Malcolm for the Sportster about his signing and how he still is taking advice almost as a younger brother to all of the Rascals and everybody through Revolver, even though he hates AJ Francis. A lot of where his prominence is on camera is AJ Francis, not Joe Alonzo. So y'all can just sit there and just cry about it.
Yeah. Like, I could actually understand that from an extent because Bryan and Pollo have both basically taken me under their wing. And they've basically been showing me the ropes of like how to work things on the back end. And I mean, even to an extent, like Michael has taken me on the back end and trained me on how to do things like without even knowing. And the thing is that not just with wrestling, but just in life in general, people need to start understanding that when people are giving you advice and when people are giving you criticism, they're not doing it to attack you. They're not doing it to try to hold you back. They're doing it because they care about you, motherfucker. They're doing it because they have your best interest at heart. And like, that's why I said what I said about Bryan when he first came in was because like legitimately since I have gotten hired in, he's had my back. He's looked out for my best interest. He's always made sure that I'm not doing something to fuck up. And not just him, but Pollo also. And it's very sentimental. And it's really eye-opening to see like how there's certain people that genuinely care, and then there are certain people that are just here to collect a paycheck. And there's a fine line between the two, and you can genuinely tell the difference between the two types of people. You can tell who's actually here because they want to be here and because this is something they love to do. And I'm just here because I have a nice paycheck. Prime example of that, BDE and Logan Paul. BDE is wrestling because he's been a lifelong wrestling fan, made fucking content about it, and then he actually started training to wrestle, and he happens to be really fucking good at it.
Yes. And he is.
And then we have Logan Paul. And then we have Logan Paul, who basically just got paid a shit ton of money by WWE because they needed an influencer. I'll say that till I'm blue in the fucking face. There is a huge difference between BDE getting signed to TNA and Logan Paul getting signed to WWE.
Yes. And it is a great 20-minute listen if you are one of those aspiring to get into the industry between him and Malcolm. And he talks about some of the advice he's even gotten from the Hardys and how they've gone to bat for him. And having that in your Rolodex as well as going through all the Rascals as older brothers, and then obviously his head coach is Sami Callihan.
Oh yeah, like what I've learned also is like if you're willing to learn, they will teach you everything. Like they will literally be like, all right, sit down, Pipsqueak, and they will teach you everything. And they will become your new mentors. And I mean, even to an extent, like I wouldn't necessarily say that PB is a mentor, but like that's my boy now. Like me and him are cool. Like me and him are cool as fuck. Like that dude is cool as shit. He's one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. He has given me so much knowledge and so much information. And that man, if he is not, I'm going to say it right now. If that man is not signed to an NWA contract by the end of 2026, I will be shocked.
Yeah.
And it's mainly just because the dude's putting in the work. The man looks good in the ring. He looks good, period. Like he's cut down on weight. He got abs now. He got muscle. Like he making the ladies go, ooh. Like,
okay.
I've watched it.
Oh, and Lord.
And
you know you're a fan of Pretty Boy, but remember you're married.
Wait, hold on. I'm not going sexual with him, you fucking bark. And but I mean, there's a lot of people on the NWA. There's a lot of people coming into the NWA right now that have been off of radars for one reason or another that genuinely should have not been off of the radar. Like, for example, the Hardways, fucking Jack Vaughn and Dalton McKenzie. Those two are fucking
Yes.
monsters. Thigh slap. Yes, I had to say thigh slap because I mentioned Jack Vaughn. But
Oh yes.
then you got the Hex, Marty Bell and Allison Kay, who are two of the top female talent in the independents right now. I will happily and confidently say that.
How are they not
and-
signed to a television company knowing there are a lot of women's tag team championships?
Well, that's not going to be. And anyway, then you got, like we mentioned before, we got a guy like Damian Fenrir, where he's literally built like Tony Nese, where he's built like a fucking Greek god, but he could flip around like a cruiserweight. Like that match he had with Kerry Moran back on Tuesday was really fucking good. It genuinely was.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was match of the night, hands down. I mean, all the matches were really good. Like the fucking meaty meat match between Mondo and Legursky, that was fucking.
Oh my gosh.
That was brutal. It looked painful.
I'm surprised Mondo won that. But
I'm surprised Mondo didn't throw out his back.
Exactly with that finish.
And that's another thing. Like before we go back into mainstream, can we just talk about real quick, like the transformation that man has done in the last few years with himself?
Bruh. Like if you
He doesn't even look like the same person.
If you were to tell me that man is a former member of the Spirit Squad, I'd say you were drunk.
Yep. The dude is jacked now. He is absolutely fucking jacked.
Yeah.
He's in the best shape of his career. And I mean, we even got crazy little motherfuckers. You're saying that we need crazy little motherfuckers that'll flip around and do zippity doodads everywhere? Okay, well, we got Lev, Alex Misery, and Gags the Gimp. Yes, we have a Gimp.
Yeah. Yeah, that casket match was wild.
Dude, that casket match was so much fun. Like, I just love the fact that, like, as soon as the bell rang, Aaron's like, nope, bye.
Yeah, he ain't
Like-
won no part of that casket.
Nah, unfortunately, he ended up in the casket.
Okay, we're gonna not give you guys too many spoilers. We're gonna get you on Roku, and yes, it was me that Eric was
Nah,
talking about
it's all
earlier.
live now. We put out the blog post every Thursday. So once all that shit's
Alright.
done, it doesn't matter.
All
But
right.
I mean, dude, that match was just so much fun. Like, that was a good way to accentuate the Lost. Like, seriously. Like, I'm not even trying to put over my job or anything, but like that was a really good accentuation of the Lost.
Oh, of
Like,
course.
that was a good way to show off what they can do.
And let's hop back into the mainstream because we're already at the
Hopping back
hour
into the
mark.
mainstreams, yes. Rhea Ripley and Io
Okay.
Sky are your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
I am not a fan of this.
I am.
Yeah.
Come on,
I
you knew
will
that
put
was
it like
coming.
this. I will put it like this: the singles divisions for the women on both brands, Raw and SmackDown, because they put the tag division so top heavy, are suffering right now. Because Stephanie and Jade, outside of what they're doing with Raquel, are directionless. And then obviously we just got out of, or we're still in, a heel versus heel feud for the US title. And after Becky gets done with AJ and Maxine, she's directionless for the time being.
And if you want the women's tag team to be more relevant again, all the 6 teams that have been battling it out for the past couple of weeks, put them in the
Chamber.
elimination chamber.
Yep, I knew where you were going. Chicago, I could see it happening. But who would go over out of the 6? In your mind, who goes over?
I have no idea, actually.
I would say Bailey Lara, just because of how they've been using social media, but that's beyond me. And then, as we were talking about with it, AMC, the AMC premiere of Impact is next Thursday, and apparently it's with Perez Hilton.
That was not on my 2026 bingo card.
You sent me the clip of him advertising, and I'm just like, wait, what? Okay. I guess we're getting celebrities from 10 years ago
I didn't
on
even
there.
know he was a wrestling fan. Well, then again, he is
Exactly.
gay, so he probably likes seeing oiled up, sweaty men running around.
Pause. And then the
Sorry.
thing that the second he reads it is going to send him into another aneurysm. Sorry, monkey. But WWE's main roster will be in Germany for the next 2 weeks. So Raw is going to be on earlier and SmackDown will be pre-recorded.
Yep.
Sorry.
Now, just to go over some events that happened the last few weeks, we did have AEW World's End happen a couple of weeks ago. MJF is your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. No, we have no idea where the fuck this is going. Then on another episode of Dynamite, we did see Willow Nightingale finally take out Mercedes Moné. Honestly, I love every second of this. It's the demise of the Monet. Hee hee. And
Okay, let me stop you real quick right there.
I wouldn't say that for sure.
Just because that entire moment was a full circle moment for Willow's career. Because her biggest rival and the mountain she had to overcome was Mercedes. But her entire AEW run has been more synonymous with it, along with Mercedes, stat. And she got a positive end to both of those stories for her in that one moment on New Year's Eve.
Makes sense.
And like I said, I don't think this is the downfall yet, because the whole goal of having Monet being Ultimo Monet and getting all them belts is for her to win the AEW Women's World title. And how they do it, they gonna have Mercedes win the title at All In. But the question is, who's gonna be the champion? I don't think it's gonna be Chris Statlander. I think somehow Tony Storm is gonna get the belt back, and then we get a rematch from last year's All In.
So Tony's gonna get a mouthful. So Tony's gonna get a mouthful of Mercedes again.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna do the rematch just so she can get the belt.
Yep.
Is your prediction?
Yep.
Don't tell Monkey.
And then we did also see, for the first time in 2 years, Ortiz return to AEW on the pre-show.
Yeah.
That made no sense whatsoever, but okay. I just work here. Wait, I don't work for them. Never mind. Jon Moxley also defeated Okada to win the 2025 AEW Continental Classic and the championship. And after a tag team match on Ring of Honor with Deonna Purrazzo, Madison Rayne retired from in-ring competition. She decided to just focus on coaching the next generation after losing her father. And Jake Doyle, a.k.a. Jake Something, is officially All Elite and a member of the Don Callis family. What the fuck?
Yeah.
How many goddamn people are in that faction now?
15.
Like I said, when you debut on AEW, you have to join the Don Callis family.
That shit's
If
like the
you're a
fucking
heel.
NWO now.
It's beyond that. Because I think the NWO only had like a dozen like congruent members.
Oh my god.
A lot of them were just managers.
This is just terrible. Like, I'm going to move on before I get triggered. We did also see Wrestle Kingdom, where Hiroshi Tanahashi may have lost his retirement match against Okada, but was honored by Will Ospreay, the Great Muta, Naito, Fujinami, the Golden Lovers, Jay White, and Shibata. What I really enjoyed was when Shibata came down to the ring, they gave a shoulder collar elbow and 2 chops. Like that right there is how you go out.
Yeah.
That is how 2 wrestlers say, thank you for everything. I love you. And just say thank you. Like that's the way you do it.
And that's 2 of the 3 Musketeers. I wish, even though and I agree, unfortunately, with Bryan Alvarez, they could have let Nakamura go instead of that 1-minute backstage segment they did the night before on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's wrestling politics. Like Kevin Nash wasn't allowed
Bingo.
Sting's retirement.
Unfortunately. That's how the way of the world goes.
Yeah, that is wrestling politics, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. And We did also see, though, TMDK are the new Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions. CRE defeated the current World of Stardom champion Sayaka Matani to become double champion in New Japan. Andrade defeated with the won their match. Wait, say that because I think you messed up there.
Okay, so Andrade with United joined the United Kingdom, and
United Empire.
Yeah, and as Will was confirmed, so Will Ospreay confirmed once he gets cleared from his neck injury, he is coming back to New Japan and AEW. So most likely he's coming after the Death Riders once he gets cleared, but then he's going to sort out the stuff with the United Empire.
Okay,
So he's going to be floating between both companies.
that makes sense.
And the remaining members of both Bullet Club and LIJ dissolved both units. So RIP to the Bullet Club and RIP to LIJ to form the Unbound Company.
Huh.
And judo practitioner Aaron Wolf debuted and became the new Never Openweight champion after beating up Evil. And in the co-main event of Wrestle Kingdom, Yota Tsuji tapped out with a Boston Crab Konosuke to Takeshita to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and then at New Year's Dash reverted the title back to its former glory to the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the V4 version of the belts.
Yes. Now, the one that I'm going to go through quickly, just because I'm sorry, this was lazily booked. This was so lazily booked. NXT New Year's Eve. This is so lazily booked. So Izzy Dang is your NXT North American Women's Champion. Now, you're probably wondering how we got here. Well, this is how we got here. Apparently, there was going to be a title match between Thea Hale and Blake Monroe, and then randomly Blake Monroe jumped Thea Hale, which then Ava banned her from the arena randomly. I don't know. Apparently, other people are allowed to jump people anytime they fucking feel like, but if your name's Blake Monroe, then you get banned from the arena. And then Thea Hale came out with the title, asked for an open challenge. Out comes Izzy Dame, and Izzy Dame wins the title. So now that title is going over to run a storyline between Izzy and Tatum and just completely forget about Thea. And it's like, that was terrible. And then you have an NXT championship match where Obafemi goes over on Leon Slater just for him to vacate the title in the middle of the ring, and it is now stated that he's going up to the main roster. Like, what?
Yeah,
that's
I
the
didn't
laziest
get that.
goddamn booking y'all did, and it's the first NXT of the fucking year. What the hell, Keebler?
Okay, so my take on that. Could we have done without another way to turn Ricky other than him winning the title just to drop it back to Oba, and then have Javon get screwed out of it? Because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, so I think it's been lazily and like scrapped trash booking for a while when it comes to the NXT title, because Oba should never have lost a rookie in the first place, just won out, and then done that, and I would have been like, okay, they gave him the Oscar level send off, and it would have meant a little bit more. But now it's just like, he just won the title back, and you're doing this. What?
Right. Like, that just absolutely made no sense.
And then he and NXT announced it on social media. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, that just made zero sense. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Now,
Right.
Open discussion. We'll start with you, Donaze. What was your favorite moment of 2025? And what was one moment where you're just like, what the fuck?
Okay. Favorite. And it was kind of a series of moments, but they both are favorite and least moment. Favorite. I'm going to probably piss off Keebler. And if they're listening out in Germany, I don't give a damn. But the over commercialization of WWE is my least favorite moment of 2025 because looking at the even ticket prices just randomly in Indianapolis, you're like, how are nosebleeds looking as high as they are? I don't care if it's like a March show over a month before Mania. That's over expensive because I get the sponsorships and the brand deals and all that, but it's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite moment, which was another series of moments, actually involved the Never Seen 17 John Cena and really how much he put over on the next generation, how much over the course of his final year, he just wanted to put it over the next generation. Yes, I know Gunther got the last match, but his real last feud of his career was Dominic Mysterio, and then he put over he put over the women of the Judgment Day on top of putting over Dom in the match.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, even when Liv was talking about it on Stephanie's podcast, Cena said, "Thank you for allowing me to be a part of such a big moment in your career." So he was just humble about that. And on top of that, randomly popping up at Natty and TJ's gym and just saying, "Hey, when's your next class? I want to train with you guys. Not a specific special ring for me. I want to actually be a part of the class." And he just fed into information with that. And he was one of the guest coaches over at Bailey's Lovestone seminar.
Right.
So stuff like that, knowing how like this last year was all dedicated to John, and he took the time out to give back specifically to women's wrestling. What else can you say other than that?
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Trico.
Oh man, this is a hard one, but I'm gonna have to go with damn. I'm gonna have to go with AEW's Double or Nothing pay per view. Like everything in that pay per view was great, especially the Anarchy in the Arena match.
Okay, and your least favorite?
The whole John Cena heel turn, it went nowhere.
I have to agree. It felt a little bland, to be honest. Like I tried being a fan of it, and I couldn't get behind it. So mine are going to be a little bit more all over the place, not necessarily staying specific to WWE. Favorite moment of 2025, honestly, was seeing TNA get that AMC deal. That was my favorite moment of 2025, just because I hate to say it, but they deserve it. Like, they really do deserve it. They've been putting in the work recently. They've been pushing out exponential numbers with their pay-per-views, going way beyond what people expected them to do. And I think them being on AMC is going to do really good things for them. I really do. I think it's going to get more eyes on the product. I think it's going to give them more options with storytelling. And I just think it's going to be really good for them. And it also opens up their options for live production as well, instead of doing pre-tapings. And my least favorite moment of the year. Shit. This is hard just because there's quite a few moments this year that pissed me off. Or last year that pissed me off. Honestly, the national title. Like, that was like my least favorite of the entire 2025, just because it made no fucking sense, and it was literally just him trying to get clout. Like, that was
I was literally about to say if there was another moment over that for you,
no, that was my
would
least
have told
favorite,
my
100%.
house.
Like, I hated that. Now, to go down our Indieverse, Bushi and Tetsuya Naito returned to Japan, but for Noah. So they are now a part of Pro Wrestling Noah, and they are also your GHC World Tag Team Champions now. Saraya states that it was only a coincidence that her WWE theme was used for her few appearances because she didn't want to use her ex's song. that was kind of what I was suspecting. Like, I wasn't looking too far into it. Like, I kind of figured, well, her and Ronnie Radke aren't together anymore. She probably doesn't want to use his music because it'd be awkward. So that makes complete sense. And due to Matt Cardona re-signing with WWE, the ACW World Championship was vacated for all of 2 hours, and Richard Holiday is now your two-time ACW World Heavyweight Champion. And has now aligned himself with Ben Bishop. Dear God. People are going to probably die.
I love it.
Oh, boy. Well, before we close out here, gentlemen, I just have one thing to say. If you haven't already, go over to NWAmerchshop.com. Buy some merch. Buy this hoodie. Buy this Bryan Idol hoodie like I got on right now. He got a beanie, but he don't got to wear it right now. But go buy a beanie. Go buy a t-shirt. Go buy some shit off the merch site. Also, go to NationalWrestlingAlliance.com. Make sure you watch NWA Power on Roku. It's available on demand. It's fucking free. You literally have no excuses for not being able to watch it. You don't have to make an account. Literally, all you have to do, download it, search NWA Power, bang, bang, boom. You watch it. It's fucking free. It is free 99. Something that's not free, though, that's pretty close to free. NWA TV tapings are heading back to Tampa Bay, Florida. February 21st. Another double TV taping. 2 p.m., 7 p.m. You want one ticket? It's $15. You want 2 tickets? $30 after fucking fees. That's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's a steal. Go buy it, you retards. Anything you guys want to add on to that?
Other than go get you some water the second we log out. And goodbye, Citrus Boy, because we are back in business. It is another year for all of us here at RTC. Hopefully you guys are safe. And
oh, I forgot one plug. I just realized it. Wait, I just forgot one plug. I realized it. If you're in Cleveland next weekend, make sure you go to Exodus Pro Wrestling New Game Plus. VIP tickets are already sold out. There are very few tickets left online. Make sure you go. Matches announced already. We will see NWA Midwest Champion Richard Holiday defend against Cal Hero. We will see the NWA World Heavyweight Championship defended in Exodus for the first time since 2024, as Silas Mason will be defending the title against Anthony Green. We will see TME most likely murder shot through the heart. And in a number one contendership match, we will see MBLJ, the Holy Grail, No Bail, something, I can't remember, Bougie, don't kill me, and Trust Fund Kids, fucking Victor Benjamin and Blake Banks, number one contendership for the tag team titles. It's going to be a fun show. And on top of all that, the 1% EC3 is back in action. He'll be taking on Mr. CBD himself, Carson Bartholomew Drake. Carson's probably going to die. Just saying.
before or after the dance?
I mean, I did my celebratory dance after I watched the video last night, but...
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, Trico, you got anything you want to plug?
We are going to the Nationals.
Oh, my gosh. Are we
Don't
talking
hate.
about the...
Don't make me give you a whooping, Don ass. Don't.
It's gonna be Miami versus the winner of Oregon and Indiana. All I'm gonna say is, Trico, if you guys got Indiana, you got your work cut out for you.
We'll see. But
If
we have
that's
home
the
turf
case,
advantage.
we cannot talk about that on here, or we're not getting through an episode.
All right, y'all.
That's all I'm gonna say. If that's the national title game, we cannot talk about that on here, or we will not get through an episode because you and me will be going at it. Your alma mater
100%.
versus mine, we will be going at it.
All right, y'all. We're out. We'll see y'all next week.
Later.